Nerd Morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and today on the Nerd Morning Show, I wanted to talk about 10 of my favorite video games that I've experienced throughout my years of gaming, and I also wanted to be able to give some recommendations on games, particularly for new players, but maybe reminiscing also for some of the older players who've experienced these games as well, and how great they are. So first off, the one we'll start out with is Pokemon Yellow. I absolutely love the original Pokemon games. I think that they were just stellar. They were built really well, well organized. The leveling up mechanism just, I thought, was like the best, absolutely paramount. And for a JRPG, this was just a really great game. My first shooter experience was with GoldenEye. This is a 007 game, a first-person shooter. This worked really well in playing with your friends. You could have like 4 people in there, and I think I spent so many hours on this game. It really, I think, affected also how first-person shooters worked in the future, and so this, I think, was pretty influential for that genre of game. Now, the next one is my all-time favorite game, Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. This is just an amazing, amazing game. The Legend of Zelda franchise is just such a powerful, heroic journey experience for our first player game, and I am a huge fan of this franchise. This one, I think, was the first-person game that I actually finished all the way to the end, and I got it originally, of course, in N64 version, and they are on the DS as well, which is just super, super cool. My next one is on that same era of Zelda, Zelda's Majora's Mask. This as well I had originally in the N64 version, but having it available on the DS is just super, super cool. And this is kind of like the next chapter inside of the Legend of Zelda franchise, and this game had this time jumping mechanism that made it so you got to progress through the game, and you saw how if you helped this person, how that affected them, because if you didn't help them the next time, their life was totally different. And so it was just really interesting that your choices influenced characters, and as you got back in time over and over again on this time loop, you got to see kind of how those choices affected, and I thought that was a really, really cool thing inside of the games. My next one is the Injustice Gods Among Us series. I have this in so many platforms. I have the mobile game, I have it on my PlayStation 3, I have it on my PlayStation 4, I have it on my Wii U, and I've played it on all of them because I just love this game so much. I really like this simple flat panel versus games. It kind of brings me back to kind of my Street Fighter type experience, which I thought was just so much fun growing up as a kid. And this one, I'm such a huge comic fan. The DC comics are my favorite universe, and so putting that all together in this was just such a cool thing. And they built a comic series for this, and the comic series is dynamite. It is one of the best reads I have had inside of comics. It was just so good, so funny, so dynamic, and so unpredictable that it was just such a satisfying experience. And obviously, that being stemmed from the game I thought was super, super fun as well. I think that racer games are really fun, but I think that Mario Kart really takes the cake. I remember playing Mario Kart in the original Nintendo system and having that really cool experience, and I have played all of the Nintendo racing games for Mario Kart since, and they've always been a one step up, one step better, and they've been able to have a really, really cool experience. And I'm a huge fan. I think these are my favorite racing games. So this game was the reason why I bought a PlayStation 4. SpiderMan for the PS4 is absolutely amazing. This has such a huge open world experience, and you got to explore, and of course you had story checkpoints and things like that, but you had various other quests and experiences that you got to go and do pretty much in the order that you felt like you should do, and I think that that was really, really cool. This may have been my first real open world experience, and I loved that format for that type of a game. And this game, it deserves a sequel. It's going to be getting the Miles Morales mini video game release that's going to be kind of like a really big DLC, but its own separate thing for the PlayStation 5. But seriously, absolutely amazing. If you haven't played this game, you like Spider-Man, you need to do it. It's just absolutely incredible. This one was one that I was given to by a friend and said, hey, I think you're going to really, really like this game. And I absolutely did. Horizon Zero Dawn, I have the complete edition, which has a little bit of expanded thing. This case is actually beautiful, full wrap, and I thought this game just blew my mind. You have this kind of dystopian world with these robotic animals and this female protagonist who has a lot of questions in her past, and to figure out who she is and where she comes from. And as you kind of discover her story, you discover the story of how the world got to where it is. And I thought this game was just breathtaking, so much fun, and I've spent so many hours on that. So Zelda: The Breath of the Wild is absolutely amazing. You can see I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan because this franchise is just so cool. And this one was really, really amazing because this was my favorite evolution for a franchise, because you had this kind of straightforward narrative experience in a lot of the Zelda games before this. And here they were like, open world. We're going to make this the most open world possible. The only thing that stops you from going anywhere you want is the rain, which there can be a lot of. But I think this game was just so good. I have completed it in a couple of versions, like the Master Mode as well as the regular mode, and I have had so much fun, and I have spent hundreds of hours on this game. So good. Currently, the big thing that I have been spending my time with has been Animal Crossing. I have found this game to be absolutely fun. It's just really, really chill, really playful. And I think the mechanics in it is just really, really interesting, because it talks about making home loans, getting interest, selling things in essentially kind of like a stock market. You have other type of like economic type constraints in this game, which I just found absolutely fascinating. I thought that this could be a kind of like a stepping tool to help teach kids a little bit about money, and to teach you know, gamers about that type of things as well. And I just thought that was just a really cool element. But this game was just really chill, really fun, and I have spent so many hours on this, working on my island, trying to get it up to a 5-star island, which takes quite a lot of work. But this game is just really, really fun, and I've had a great experience with those. So those are my top 10 games right now. Hopefully this list was fun for you guys. What are your top games? What are the ones that you think maybe that I should be checking out? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was a fun list for you. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next time.